Canada will join the European Defence Fund. It means Canadian defence firms will have access to both funds and expertise to develop their lines of business. Let's bring in John Manley on this, former Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister of Canada, Chair of Jeffries Securities. Thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
What would you say is the purpose of the European Defence Fund first?
Well, first, I think what the Europeans have realized, as Canada has, is that the world has become a much more dangerous place. This is part of a cooperative initiative on the part of the Europeans, some of whom are not NATO members, to build defense capability for Europe and to do so more efficiently and effectively than they've done in the past. So for Canada to actually get into this is quite monumental. And there are many ways we're like the Europeans, but we're not in Europe. So this is quite an important transaction for us.
On that note, the UK did try to join. That ended without an agreement. How do you think Canada managed to secure a deal?
We don't have some of the history with the continent that Britain has. We also have perhaps a different perspective on it. I think this is one piece of a much bigger puzzle, some of which has nothing to do with defense, but which has to do with increasing diversity of the Canadian economy and increasing the resilience of the Canadian economy. So undoubtedly, we were prepared to make an effort that was particular to Canada.
Does this also allow Canadian companies to then go to European suppliers, meaning turning away from American suppliers?
Well, you don't need to turn away, but you do have a preferred access to European businesses, and also Canadian defense companies, in addition to cooperating or collaborating with European companies, will have access to European procurement directly. So we haven't put a lot of effort broadly into our defense industry over the last number of decades. We've got a number of companies that are growing and are important in that field. You think of CAE in Montreal, MDA largely in Toronto now. They've done other things, but they've had some defense role. Those will increase now. I think it's an important time for Canada to pivot, regrettably, because it means that we actually need the products and services that these companies can provide.
Okay, so we do have some defense companies. Do you think we could have some startup defense companies from Europe sort of moving over to have some headquarters here or open offices or manufacturing facilities in Canada? Could it work that way?
Well, there'll be two things that happen. One is that, yes, to the extent that they're supplying Canadian needs under Canadian defense procurement, you'll see them urged by the Canadian government to establish some facilities, build some capability in Canada. You've already seen that debate going on with respect to fighter aircraft, where Saab very much would like to have the contract and basically says, give us the contract, we'll build them in Canada. The other thing that's going to happen, I think, is that you'll see some pivoting by companies in other sectors toward defense. As an example, if you think about companies that make things, think of the automotive sector, which has been targeted by Trump tariffs, which has been so important to Ontario. I think you can begin to see some of those especially parts manufacturers, begin a pivot toward supplying in the defense sector. They've got the capability, they just haven't had the product lines, nor have they needed them in the past.
And what do you make of this position Canada's in to buy from the U.S. what it's going now to give to Ukraine? It seems like a workaround. Is that just so the U.S. is getting income from this instead of spending its own money?
Yeah, I think that the president has demonstrated some lack of interest in the degree to which Ukraine requires liberal democracies to support it. And but he's satisfied if others, do it, provide American businesses with sales while supplying Ukraine. That's a win-win as far as he's concerned, or at least it's a single win because of the American jobs that are created by it. But I think that for Canada, we're very conscious of the fact that protecting the integrity of borders is something that's of concern to us. So we're bound to be very much part of the alliance that's supporting Ukraine.
Okay. John Manley, sir, got to leave it there. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.